Hello YouTube, this is Morgan, Airspeed Prime here at my next Naruto Shippuden episode review. This one's going to be for episode 492, Shikamaru's story part 4, Cloud of Suspicion. Second last part of this arc. Link in the description to where you can find the episode if you haven't seen it yet. But yeah, let's get into the review. Solid episode. I don't think it was amazing. It really felt like the big moment was Tamari, Ino, and Shoji arriving at the very end. The trailer for next week's episode felt more important than kind of this episode itself. I think the problem with this episode is that this is where you really needed to present the story for Shikamaru. What is his arc within this kind of five-parter? What are we meant to take away come the end of this arc? Is it just this idea of he's been trying to do too much on his own and he needs to rely a little bit more on his friends, be a bit more open, that maybe he's got too focused on being so close to the Hokage and keeping things a secret, and kind of maybe moving away from kind of who he is, not kind of quite being himself? Is that what they're going for? It just feels a little muddled in that they're trying to cover a lot of little things with Shikamaru. That when Gengo talks to him, he's trying to prey on the fact that let's bring up memories of you being criticized by your father for your skills and your personality, your attitude. Asuma, you not feeling like you're good enough for him, and all that sort of stuff. They're trying to play on this idea of is Shikamaru good enough? But they don't do a lot with it. You get some nice Shikamaru kind of moments here with regards to him escaping, him very much being the intelligent character that he is, keeping himself out of the genjutsu by constantly thinking about games of shogi, that he's playing games in his head, keeping himself distracted, and because he's so intelligent, he's constantly thinking okay, I'm aware that you are trying to put me under a genjutsu now. And because he's thinking so hard about that, he's not getting caught by the genjutsu. So that aspect of his personality, and I think it's coming across quite well, that he's sort of immune in a way to some of this genjutsu just because of how intelligent he is and that he can see very clearly what Gengo is doing and has kind of figured it out. I don't remember the flowers being a part of the book. Maybe it was a small, tiny section in the book. But as far as I'm aware, Gengo's power in the book is literally just that he has spoken word genjutsu. He can speak and put people under a genjutsu and basically make them side with him. Which they roughly say by just saying oh, you're using your words to control me. But then they sort of make it out that oh, the flowers are stirring up memories and that's helping him. So maybe it's just an additional thing to help him if the just speaking isn't working, but still. Going back to Shikamaru and his arc, it's just something they need to hit. Now that Tamari's in play, are you going to go commit to something with their relationship? What's it really going to be? And that Tamari comes back and it's just hits him and it's this is for lying to me before, you need your help, don't lose this battle. And you can sort of see that he's kind of back better like he was, but there's no massive reason for why that's happened beyond just, oh, so he has some of his friends, he's not on his own anymore. Are they trying to say that he works better with friends? Is that the core of what this arc is going for? It's just, I'm not quite seeing what his arc is necessarily meant to be here. Whereas I think it was a little bit more focused in the book, just with regards to what was going on. In that I don't think they referred to the early stuff of what does it mean to be an adult, and the different approach that Shikamaru had before versus what he has now, and ultimately the type of leader that he should in fact be. But anyway, let's move on. You get some nice scenes, Shikamaru and Sai talking. That was interesting because you can sort of see what convinced Sai to kind of turn over, what Gengo targeted within Sai that got him onto his side. And it's basically just this idea of oh, you're a member of Team 7, but are you really? Now that Sasuke's back, you are just the other guy. That's how he was got. I think it was episode 2, the very start of episode 2, we got this scene of kind of what Gengo's been saying to Sai. And it's very much the case. He's asking Shikamaru here, Why have you come for me? We've never been like massively close. Why isn't Naruto coming for me? What about Sakura or Sasuke? Why haven't they come to save me if I am in fact a member of Team 7? And of course it's just a case of, like, as Shikamaru says, he told no one about this mission. Naruto doesn't know, Sakura doesn't know, Sasuke is just out of the village, he of course doesn't know. That's why only Shikamaru is there, because he chose to do this on his own. So he's telling the truth, but Sai has obviously been convinced by this, that he feels like he's... At this point, like, is he a part of Team 7? Is he one of the main crew? Or is he just the one that was there for a while and is no longer important? So there's a lot of interesting things kind of going on that front with Sai. And it's very much setting up the idea of, like, as we see in the preview for next week's episode, Ino arrived as well. And in the preview, we see the two of them squaring off. We know that they eventually become a couple from Boruto and have kids, at least one kid. So we just need to basically see this relationship form. So in the next episode, the key things they need to focus on are, 1, Shikamaru is going to fight Gengo one-on-one. Everyone else is leaving that to him. That's his big thing, that he wants to prove himself to defeat Gengo on his own. It looks like Shoji and probably Tamari will fight Ro and Soku to kind of snap them out of it. And then Ino will probably square off against Sai. So that's interesting straight away. And then I assume in the aftermath we'll get more notable little scenes with Ino and Sai, and also Tamari and Shikamaru. And there's of course Naruto. There's the hint that he's also there in the preview. So I think whatever Naruto potentially says to Shikamaru will be important. What Shikamaru ultimately takes away from this arc is going to be kind of the big thing about, like, was this arc good? Was this arc worthwhile? What development has Shikamaru actually had? It just feels like, I almost feel like with this episode, you could have had, you know, Tamari and Shoji arrive a little bit earlier, get development, and then leave the last episode to just resolve everything. It just feels like they came in a little bit too late, and potentially they're leaving too much of, like, everything about what this arc is to the last episode. But I think they will get it right. They seem to have do the last episodes of these arcs really well, even if maybe the setup hasn't been great. The last episode of the Sasuke arc was very well done, and, you know, so on. So that's that. Other than that, I don't think there's a ton else to really talk about with the episode. Yeah, I think that's about it. You know, you get, like, the fact that Ro was captured, Soku was captured, that Gengo is playing on their different kind of issues, that, like, obviously Ro kind of revealing that he kind of hid under bodies and that's how he survived a battle, and that's thing, so he got him over to that side. He got Soku over by kind of establishing the fact that, like, as we've seen in her development up to now, she wants to prove herself to be a proper shinobi, but she's in an era where she can't really do that because there's not a lot of wars to fight, and that's kind of what he's targeting with her. And then I suppose the most important scene of the episode was Gengo and Shikamaru talking, basically getting Gengo's kind of reveal about it. I think they perhaps made a little bit of a mistake by having Gengo's arc basically be that he's creating a place for shinobi where they can actually be shinobi, and they won't kind of just lose themselves in the peacetime. That there will always be a place for shinobis who want to be shinobis, and it won't just be that they do the little jobs that the feudal lords want, as we've kind of got that pointed out to us. The only issue here was just that because you presented that so much as Soku's kind of issue, Gengo also feeling that way, and that being his big villain reveal, didn't quite have as much impact because we'd already touched on most of the same stuff with Soku. So it's going to take some, I suppose, good dialogue in the battle between Shikamaru and Gengo to really kind of bring him around in terms of establishing why he is the way he is, in terms of his own backstory, I think, to fully bring this one to an end. But as I said, I'm confident that we'll get a really good battle. I think that, from what I remember of the battle from the book, it's a really unique battle that kind of Shikamaru gets a big chance to prove himself. The Ino side stuff, from what I remember from the book, also is very well done, and it kind of really gets you behind that relationship. So there's that, and then obviously after this arc we're into the wedding arc, which is less about the wedding itself, it's more of just like the lead up to the wedding, focusing on the other characters reacting to it and buying presents for the wedding. So we'll see if they expand that out into being more meaningful. But yeah, for now, that's been the Ford 92 review. In the comments, let me know what your thoughts were on the episode as well as my review. But yeah, I'll just finish off by saying link in the description to the episode if you want to see it, my Twitter and Tumblr if you want to follow me on social media, and then my Patreon campaign and PayPal donation link if you want to help support my channel so I can make more videos, better videos. So yeah, that's been a video. Thanks for watching, and bye.